Okay, it's Friday, January 28th, about an hour and a half before the open. Just wanted to do a pre-open video here. And I'm looking at the SPY to start, and things really don't look good for the market today. I guess it looks good if you want to play puts. But what's happened is overnight, here are the blue lines on the SPY. This is the daily chart, and you can see here just on a daily basis, we had the inside bar yesterday. So it looks like already in the overnight session, we've taken out that low and we're just about to reach the magnitude of this inside bar. So the only way on a day this could really start back up by taking out, its target is if maybe you get some kind of buying coming in, you get the 50% rule that comes up to the midpoint of yesterday and starts higher. If not, you're going to have to wait for a kind of a 2 down, 2 up on Monday. But actually, you can see the megaphone I've drawn here. What looks like is developing. If I go to the hourly chart, and you can see even better on the 15-minute chart, it looks like we've broadened higher to the upside, and now we've come down to the midway point of this, and we're probably going to broaden to the downside, which means taking out those Monday reversal lows before any up action begins. That's what I'm seeing. If you look at the hourly chart, what I did was, let me zoom it out a little bit. I drew in this 3 bar because that's what happened overnight. We came down yesterday on the hourly chart after a little 2 up action to start the day. Then we kind of failed and came down, and that's why you had the negative move all the way to the close. So now this, there was some earnings that were positive in the market, kind of overnight gapped up a little bit. But then we've come all the way back down. You can see we're right here right now at the low end of this range. So we kind of have a 3 bar forming before the market opens. And to me, that means as we're going to start the day, you're going to look for either 3-2 continuation, and that's what you're kind of anticipating because you can see these lows should eventually be taken out and broaden out somewhere down here. If you get the 3-2, then 2 back up reversal, that's possible to again start this whole day up, and then you'd have to take out the midpoint of yesterday, which would be the top of this overnight range, to even begin to feel comfortable that we're actually continuing higher. So if anything, the bias seems to be to the downside. If you look at the 15-minute chart, I think you can see the broadening action even clearer in terms of the fact that we just kind of came up here, brought into the upside, and now you have to kind of just look bigger picture and think that the way we're coming down, we're probably going to broaden to the downside before starting back up again. So that's kind of what I see developing again at this point. It's going to be, it looks like a 3 down bar. Here's price action at the moment at the bottom of the overnight range. So if anything, I'd be looking for 3-2 continuations on the hourly chart. Let me get back to that because that's the one you kind of look at when you start the day. If this would have been a 2 up bar to start the day, then I might have considered buying early. But if anything, I'm seeing what's going to be a down bar, even on its own, forgetting this 3 bar I've drawn in. If you just look at the way that, if you don't take in the overnight action, we're opening up down here. So there's going to be some kind of a gap. So, to me, at this point, we'll watch the first hour, but the only way you can even get an up, you'd have to get an immediate 3 up bar to start the day to even begin to go long, which would be above the overnight highs. If anything, we're going to gap down, and you're going to just have to watch early price, the 15-minute bar early. Do we just kind of pause here and try to rally but can't do anything? That would be a great short. It might just flush all the way down immediately, but it's tricky with the gap down. Let me draw that. You're going to have this kind of a, whoops. Anyway, I can't. Yeah, you're going to have this kind of a gap down kind of a bar if you start. So, the question is, are you going to just, it might flush quickly down there. But either way, it's going to be looking for shorts. The ideal short would be something very quick that you got to just, take profits as it happens because you're gapping, and it might not have that much momentum to, it's going to have momentum, but it might not go at some point with a gap. It'll probably, stop. The best trade would be something where it tries to rally a little bit, fails, and then starts down. That would be, my ideal put trade. And if you look at any stock, I'm just trying to click on a couple like Tesla. A lot of them have targets below. If you just have to start looking at the, I think I clicked on it, the individual stocks here and see that like Tesla, this is the weekly chart. You can see here, there's already target, as we continue lower, it takes out this target. Now we're going to this target. There's a lot of stocks like that. we taken out the daily low yesterday, so that means we're heading to prior. This is since we took out this key low, there's like a pivot machine gun down to this target. So a lot of stocks, have that here on the hourly chart. You can see it's down, down, down. You're going to kind of open with another down. So again, the ideal trade here is still going to be either it's going to go and you got to take 15 or 5-minute quick, put trades down to targets, or, the ideal thing would be some buying comes in to start the day and it just fails. And then kind of you get you can get a 2 down, 1, then the put trade. So that's what I'm hoping for with a lot of these stocks. But you just got to go stock by stock. But, in terms of the SPY, just to conclude here, my best bet is for broadening to the downside here overall, which means taking out those Monday lows. And if you look at finally at the weekly chart, we're talking about how that's the critical chart here, how that's going to close the week and what's it going to do next week. It seems like it might want to close on the downside of this bar, which would be kind of not a positive, bar by the end of the week, which would mean by next week, we'd probably test lower before starting higher. I mean, that's what I see. The only way we could turn up, like I said, is if on this daily chart, we take out this little target here early in the morning and then we reverse 50% of this bar today, or we just get a 2 down, 2 up on Monday. But other than that, I think we're heading lower.